Girl, stop playing.
Yeah.
Ashley Cobb is in the building. Now listen, you go by Sex with Ashley. We ain't having sex with Ashley today, but we getting all up in Sex with Ashley's business so that she can give us the secrets and the tea and the strategies for you single women who are preparing mentally to become wives. So we got to talk about how you became Sex with Ashley. You are a blogger, you are a sex expert and educator, but how did you get into this space?
So I have a degree in public health.
Okay.
And so when I got out of college, I wanted to originally be a health educator. At the time, I couldn't find a job, so I was a teacher. And then while I was teaching, I kind of started blogging, talking about sex and women's pleasure. So that was 6 years ago. So I just kind of started because I couldn't find a job.
Got you. Okay, so it was kind of a needs-based thing. Like I get in where I fit in and I make this work. What's your relationship status?
Single.
Single. So as a sex expert, how does that introduction, when you're going through the selection process and you're courting, how does that introduction typically translate to the conversation? So do you just say, hey, I'm Ashley, I'm Sex with Ashley? I know you don't say that.
I don't. No. Because usually I tell people I'm a writer. That's usually who I go with. Okay. I'm like, I'm a writer. Because typically from my experience, when I found out, when I lead with I'm a sex blogger or I write about sex, the conversation kind of goes left. And that's all they can focus on. So I kind of tell them I'm a writer, which is not a lie, just not the whole truth, right? And then usually they kind of find out on their own, or I'll tell them after we've kind of got to, introduced to one another.
Got you. So is there like a timeline that you have? Because this is actually part of what we're going to get into in having the conversation around sex. It's just for you, the conversation around sex is your introduction somewhat, because this literally is what you do. So do you have like a time where you're like, okay, first 2 dates, we're not going to talk about that. I'm just a writer. I'm vague with it. Or is it like a comfort level? Like if you make me feel comfortable on the first date, we can talk about it.
So it just depends on the person.
Okay.
Typically by date 2, you kind of already know what I do and who I am, because I do need for you to feel comfortable.
Okay.
Because some men aren't comfortable and they, don't want the woman they're associated with to be a sex blogger. So I get that. So I kind of tell you by date 2, by 3, you kind of know what it is and you kind of make your own decision.
Got you.
Yeah, but I don't lead with the day one.
Okay,
typically.
so we're not leading with it, but you're not ashamed of it. You're not hiding it. You just aren't.
No.
Hello.
Yes,
got you.
correct.
Okay. Now listen, it's about to get real juicy, real steamy. So go ahead and like this video because I don't want you to get caught up in the conversation and forget to show your girl some love. So listen, speaking of the comfort level, their comfort level, for not a lot, but for some women, the topic of conversation is not necessarily one that they are comfortable with, but it's a part of dating. It's a part of the conversation. It's a part of any relationship. So what is your advice for someone who, we all have different experiences, all different backgrounds, someone who knows that dating is a mandatory part of, trying to get to marriage, but they're not 100% comfortable having the conversation?
I teach women. My job is to teach women how to get comfortable having the conversation. Because like you said, sex is a very important thing, and we all are having sex. So it's important for women to be able to prioritize their pleasure and to be able to say what they need sexually. So there's different ways you can do that. If you're not comfortable vocally like me, you can do like texting, or there's like games. They have sex games now that you can play. They have conversation games that just talk about simple things like, what do you like to do? What do you dislike? What is your favorite position? Stuff like that.
Starting to sweat already.
See, things like that help you to do it in like a fun way. Take the pressure off. So doing it like that, or using pop culture. Like, for example, if something, let's say a movie is out and there's something that you're interested in. Oh, did you watch that show? What do you feel about that scene? And you kind of get an idea of how someone, how they're like sexually, stuff like that.
So the thing that is, I'll say alarming for me, and why I felt like this was such a necessary conversation, is because sex culture is such a thing. Like, I have nieces who, what they've grown up, they're grown now, 18, 19, but what they grew up watching, totally different from what I grew up watching. Yes. I didn't grow up watching Maury. I was of age,
yes. As in high school,
watching those things, right?
Yeah.
So being 5, 6, 7 years old, and that literally shaping your thoughts, shaping your conversation, shaping your experiences. I think that the pressures are very different these days. And I think a lot of times, like I said, some people just aren't comfortable having the conversation. So the conversations aren't happening, but the sex is still happening, which is why this conversation on this platform is so important, because the marriage statistics, we know what those are, but women never slow down with having babies. Women never slow down with the sex. So we're having it, we're doing it, but are we doing it in a way that can be productive? And
what I found is, because I do the Mab Noir Dear Ashley sex column every week. And so
plug, where can they find that?
Mab Noir. Gotcha. Every Wednesday it drops. You can type in Dear Ashley, it pops up. But anyway, so women and men sometimes, but mostly women, write in, right? And these are women who are in marriages, women who are single, whatever. But the common theme that I have found with a lot of these letters is women call in and they're not happy with their sex life, right? And then usually my response is, well, how long has this been going on? Or why haven't you talked about it? And it's been going on a long time. And they just don't have the language, or they don't feel comfortable being able to say, this doesn't work for me, and it hasn't been working for me. And so, what I found in doing the column is that good sex is imperative to the longevity of a relationship, I think. Because, because a lot of times people are at their wits' end, and now they're thinking about, stepping out, and we don't want to do that, but if they just had the conversation, like one letter in particular, this woman, she was with her husband and it just wasn't hitting.
He did not understand the assignment.
He did not understand the assignment, and it was like a several year thing. It's been going on for a while. And I was like, well, why didn't you talk to him? Because I had emailed her back before I had wrote the question. And she was like, well, I don't know what to say, but I'm cheating on him now. And the person who I'm cheating with does everything I want, right? And I was like, well, you need to tell your husband, what is he doing that you like? And then transfer that to your husband. Because sex is a thing that can be taught. People automatically assume that just because
you either got it or you don't.
Yeah, that's not true. It's something that you can learn and you can be taught. So I think if you don't have the conversation, they can't improve if they don't know what needs to be improved upon.
So let me ask you this. You said, good sex is a necessary component of a healthy relationship, of a lasting relationship.
Yes.
Sex too soon. So a couple episodes ago, episode number 1, plug, I interviewed my husband, and we talked about, he shared the male's perspective on, sex and relationships, sex too soon, how men can sometimes interpret it. And of course, this is not 100% thing. There's always exceptions to the rule. But my personal opinion is sex before you're comfortable can ruin a relationship. Yes. Not because we've seen people who met the first night, had one night stand, they've been married 25 years, it worked out. But if you're not comfortable, there's a whole lot of other things that can come along with that, regardless of the relationship status. So what is your opinion on sex too soon? Is there a definition? What does that mean? You got a little Steve Harvey up in there, 90-day rule.
No.
None of that?
I don't believe
You're not subscribing to that?
I don't believe in 9-day rules. I believe like you believe.
Okay.
You shouldn't have sex before you feel comfortable. So if that's day 1, if that's day 100, whatever day that is. I also believe that a man who genuinely likes you is going to like you if they have sex with you day 1 or day 100. If they're just there for sex, it's going to be the same if you do it day 1 or day 100. That's just my general philosophy. I think a lot of women, we don't really do things that we want to do because we are afraid of how other people are going to view us. And you should care a little bit, but you should also do what you want to do. I feel that way. Yeah, I feel like you shouldn't live your life based upon thoughts of people who don't really matter at that moment.
So I think it comes down to your confidence, though, right? Because a lot of times and we talked about this too, a woman will think, okay, if I have sex with you tonight, because I know you want to have sex with me tonight, even though I know I'm not ready to have sex tonight, I think that if I do that, that's going to seal the deal for me, or that's going to make you want me more. That's going to make us go to the next level or whatever. But now I have basically compromised myself. And then tomorrow I might not ever hear from you again. And I'm mad because I didn't want to do it anyway.
Right.
And I think it comes from with the lack of self-worth and then the confidence.
Right.
The self-worth in understanding that you can choose to say no and they could do what they want to with that no. But you doing something that you're not comfortable with is not going to get you anywhere.
No, sex is not going to make anyone love you, not going to make them want to be with you. So you have to do it because you want to. If he doesn't call me back tomorrow, I'm fine with that. I did it because in this moment, this is what I wanted to do, and be fine with that. You have to be okay in your decision. And if you're not okay, then don't do it. I see a lot of women who do things and hoping to get hoping to get like not a response, but hoping to get some type of reward for it. Like, I'm going to do this in hopes that he will do that.
X, Y, Z. Yeah, this for that. And you do this and they ain't doing that. So for the single women, what are some of the issues that you're seeing from the people who are writing in? I know the married women, they like, sis, I don't know how to tell them, but what are the single women going through?
The interesting thing is that women across the board have the same issue. We don't know how to communicate what we want. We are having bad sex, again, because we don't know how to communicate. And then I get a lot of single women asking questions about hoe phases. Should I have a hoe phase or what?
There are women that write in and say, hello, Miss Lady, should I have a hoe phase?
There are. And usually it's women who either are newly divorced.
Oh, okay, gotcha. Okay, I'm like, make it make sense. I don't get it.
Newly divorced, or women who were heavily religious. So they feel like they need to go through this. So they need to experience this. So they missed out on all the things that a lot of people do in their 20s and their 19s. So now they're like 30 and 40 and they're trying to figure themselves out. So I get questions about hoe phases.
What's your advice, Ms. Ashley? What you tell them? Going out there?
I think that
take it for a ride.
I do. I think
bend the block. No, sis, do not bend the block.
I think that every woman should have a hoe phase. Now, hoe phases look different for everybody.
It's a spectrum.
It's a spectrum. A hoe phase does not mean just go and bust it wide open for anybody.
Clarify for the people. Look at that camera. Where she needs to look in this camera.
A hoe phase does not mean just go and bust it wide open for any and everybody. That's not what it means. Hoe phases are learning phases, right?
Okay.
I think there are times when you learn about what you like, who you like, right? It's a learning experience because you are only focusing on yourself versus in relationships and dating, you're trying to focus on you and the other person. But I do think whole phases build character.
Now, you don't have to explain that one.
They build character.
What? Now, how? Come on now, break it down, please.
Character. I learned a lot about myself.
Tell the people.
In my, I think I have an ongoing forever whole phase.
It's continuous.
It's continuous.
Gotcha. Okay.
I'm 37 and single, so why not? But I learned a lot about myself in terms of what I will not allow, just in relationships and in the bedroom, right? these are my non-negotiable. These are my sexual non-negotiables. You have to be able to do X, Y, and Z. This what works for me. So if you are not able to do this, this is not going to work. I know how to get me off. This is how to do that. So I need for you to be able to be on board with that. And if you're not, that's fine. Have a good day.
Go on about your life.
Yeah.
Did you have that confidence pre-sex with Ashley?
No. So pre-sex with Ashley, I was 29. And technically, when I started sex with Ashley, I was on my own journey to kind of figure out what I wanted. Because in my 20s, even though people say, and in my 20s, I had a whole phase, but it wasn't like I was just doing things because that's what people wanted to do. The men who I was with wanted to do versus me in my 30s doing things based on because this is what I want to do. So in my 30s, I was more on like a self-discovery type thing. So 28-year-old, 10-year-old Ashley, 10 years ago, Ashley would not have been this confident. You know, I would not have had the voice to be able to be like, this is what I need. If you can't do those things, although I like you, this is not going to work.
Yeah, I don't think, no. Maybe to my husband, but that's gutsy. Like, that's like...
Right, because like, okay, so if...
And not to my husband, because you good, baby. You good, baby. Clarify.
Yeah, clarify that. But if I am dating to marriage, right? That means when I get married, if you're monogamous, this is the only sex I'm going to have to death, if that's how you believe in marriage, right? That's a long time, right? So I need to make sure that if this is the only person I'm supposed to fulfill my sexual needs, you know, I need to make sure that this is going to work, right?
But how much of it is just being, I don't want to say equally yoked, because I feel like when you say equally yoked, you automatically think religion, and we're totally talking about sex. But that's all I can think of is equally yoked. Does it just come down to that? Because my sexual desires at 36 are probably going to be different than they will be at 46.
Correct.
So it doesn't necessarily matter that he's willing to do what I want him to do today. It really matters that he cares about pleasing me.
Correct.
That he values, that.
Correct.
So is it really just going through the dating or selection process, knowing that you value a partner who values you, not necessarily, because I didn't have to have sex with him to know the type of man that he was. Correct. You know what I'm saying? Correct. I think that some of those values, it's not just the physical act of sex, it's, like you said, it's learned. So if you have a man that cares about you, he's going to figure that thing out. It's not just going to be, well, this is how I show up, take it or leave it. So I think the foundation of it is having the partner that values, puts your needs,
correct,
not first, but values your needs, and
and that's important.
Not just looking for good sex,
right? And that's important, especially with women. Cause heterosexual women are the least group who have orgasms. Gay women have more orgasms than us. Gay men have more orgasms than us, and
you
are
almost said ass-gasm. I was gonna say, is that a thing?
It is.
What kind of slip was that? That must be a real word. Okay.
But we are dead last, right? We're dead last. And that's because in a lot of cases, men either don't know how to please us because we're not vocal, or they're not that interested. Because it's easier for men to, have orgasms than this for us, because their sexual response cycle is different than ours. So we need a little more, prepping up, a little warming up. So it takes more effort and time. So that way you have to have someone who is really interested in you and wanting to please you. That's important, because if they're not, you're going to have a case of a lot of people who, write me, we have sex, but I don't have orgasm. And I had an orgasm in 10 years. Like, sis, 10 years.
There's a lot of women who haven't had orgasms and don't know, have not. But I know you know. It's the whole thing. We ain't even going to go into that. Safe whole phase, though. How do you do it safely? Because we're bombarded with the statistics, all the things. We know people are out in these streets not protecting themselves. How do I, because in my opinion, as a single woman, how I always looked at it, I always knew that just because this man that I'm dating, just because I'm not having sex with him doesn't mean he's not having sex.
Correct.
Right? So I understand that. But I also felt like, and this was probably unrealistic, but I felt like once I am having sex with you, you owe me protection. That's how I felt. Not that we're monogamous unless we've had that conversation, but you owe me to be safe in whatever it is that you're doing. That is not, that's like a unspoken rule that people don't even follow. You know, that's not even a thing. So how do you learn yourself and have this character building whole phase without risking it all?
So I'm a big advocate of women carrying condoms.
Okay.
Right? I have buku condoms in my house. You know, I don't do anything without condoms. And in even terms, even if somebody you are like regularly dating, but y'all not exclusive, you still need to wear condoms because you never know what somebody's doing when they're not in your presence. And most of the people who get STDs and HIV, they come from monogamous relationships. So the other person is out there doing stuff and you have no idea they're doing. So condoms, regular testing. So if you're going to be out here doing, you know, risky things, and no shade, I do risky things sometimes too. You need to be able to get tested regularly so you can at least know what's going on. A lot of times we as women, and I've been guilty of this too in the past, we'll go from man to man, past relationship to past relationship, and no type of testing in between. We don't know what's going on down there. So that condoms, testing, and conversations. Just as, you know, sometimes, you know, people will lie, but a lot of times people are truthful. If you say, you know, what's going on? Are you dating other people? And then I always go with the assumption like you do. You know, I always assume that men are sleeping with other people.
You having sex with somebody. Like, and ladies, you could be 90-day rule if you want to. He gonna wait 90 days to sleep with you.
But not have sex in general.
Out here in these streets. But speaking of the communication and do you recommend that women keep this whole phase a secret? Because that's a whole conversation. Like, I personally feel like I don't think that I've met a grown man while I was dating that asked me like how many partners you've had. But I think that that's a conversation that we talk about. Like, do you share that information? Do you ask that question? What's your advice on like full disclosure?
I've never been asked that question. No, I'm lying. I haven't asked that question as a grown up, probably in the last couple of years actually. I didn't answer because this is my view on it. Who I was with before you shouldn't matter, as long as we get tested, I'm clean or whatever, you know, whatever it is, and you or whatever. Who you with before me doesn't matter. As long as it's not my sister, my best friend.
I know. I can point out.
Yeah, I don't particularly care. So I don't really answer those questions because I feel like, why you want to know that? Because you might get your feelings hurt. So don't ask questions you don't want to know the answer to.
So, is there a potential scenario where your feelings would get hurt? Like, is there anything that you care about that he could have done, or does it just matter like who he did it with?
Not really, because I don't really ask questions that I know I don't want to know the answer to. As long as, you know, if it was like my best friend, something like that, then yeah, I'll be like, you know, oh dang.
Hold on, wait a minute.
Well, yeah. But other than that, no, I just let people be grown and leave your past in the past.
Okay.
Yeah.
So being grown, you said you don't subscribe to like the Steve Harvey rules, the 90-day. What is your, and I don't want to say rules as in like these are your restrictions, but what are your Sex with Ashley's rules of engagement when it comes to dating? What's like a guideline? You have a little sister. Let's say you have a little sister. She's like, yo, I'm ready to get out here in these streets. What is your advice? Like, what is your parameters that you give her to operate safely?
Oh, dating. See, you know, it depends. It depends. Because people, my male friends say that they say I'm a male basher and I'm a gold digger and all these things.
Not a male bashing gold digger. Let's talk about it.
That's what they say. You know, because I even though I'm not traditional, technically, I still have traditional things I like. Okay. Right? I like for you go on a date and it's not Dutch. You know, I like for the men to pay. I don't mind paying, but you know, not you know, after the first maybe 3 or 4 dates. You know, but the first ones I want you to pay. I like going out and not in this day and age, a man picking you up. I don't know about that. But I like the man to be
a man.
Yeah. Okay. A man.
Say that. Yeah. That's a thing.
Yeah, I like to be a man and whatever that. Now these new age men.
It's getting real gray out here. Real gray. Used to be black and white. It's real gray in these streets.
It is real. I went on a date recently in Atlanta. because I moved to Atlanta in August.
Okay, well, welcome. Where'd you move from?
North Carolina.
Wow. Charlotte?
No, Fayetteville.
Oh, military.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, so I went on a date here in Atlanta, and one of the dudes, he wanted to meet me at Best Buy, right? He wanted to meet me at Best Buy, I guess because he wanted to, like, size me up before he took me out. He wanted.
Okay, I'm gonna let you keep going. I have questions.
I have questions too. He wanted to meet at Best Buy, so we get to Best Buy, and I guess he, I don't know. I guess he liked the way he saw. I don't know. So then we went around the corner to some restaurant. I want to say it was like Red Lobster, someplace like that. But he said when he got there, he's like, I already ate before I came. So, sir, why are we here? Why are we here? Why are we here, sir? So, okay, I'm hungry, so I'm eating. Okay, so I ordered my food. He got a beer. And then
take the camera off my face, producers, please. I can't take this.
And then I paid.
Girl.
And then
you gonna have to unplug my mic too.
We left.
Sis.
And I ain't never see him no more because I was like, this
I bet you didn't never see him no more, not ever again.
So, stuff like that, it just don't work for me. Dating in Atlanta has been very interesting, actually.
Oh, it's so many red flags. It's so many red flags in there. Okay, I just have to know.
Okay, go ahead.
Where did you meet this person?
Oh, we met on an online app.
Okay.
Yeah.
What was the conversation that went from the online app to Best Buy? Like, how did he get you to the Best Buy?
That's a good question. Okay, so when I first got here to Atlanta, I was just kind of going on 51st dates, kind of like an experiment type thing. So we matched. He said something, I don't remember, it's been a while, and whatever he said, it caught my attention. I was like, okay, cool. He's like, do you want to meet up one day? I'm like, sure. He's like, okay, well, meet me on Wednesday. Cool. Wednesday got there, he was like, well, meet me here in the Best Buy parking lot.
And then it was the Best Buy store.
I assumed, because I'm new at this point, this was like in October, this was last year. I assumed that maybe it was like a restaurant in the plaza of Best Buy. I didn't think it was just the Best Buy. It was the Best Buy. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So this is a teachable moment. Mm-hmm. You learn your lesson because you're never going to talk to this man again.
Yeah, you know.
Anybody listening, tuned in here, when you pull up and you realize that it's not the Best Buy parking lot, it is the actual Best Buy, put it back in drive, skirt, and take it on around the corner. No, ma'am, Pam. I'm not coming in this Best Buy, sir. This is not a date.
It's not the Best Buy.
There are great men in Atlanta, though. So don't let that... Atlanta men get a bad rap.
They do.
Don't let that discourage you. Okay. Have you met some good ones since then?
Define good.
You have not. Okay. But this is the thing, though, Sex with Ashley. The selection process. You should have ate by yourself on that day. That man did not even deserve your time.
He didn't.
He did not.
He did not.
He disrespected you when he said he ate before he got there.
Yeah, and I was like, well, why are we here?
Why am I here?
Why are we sitting there?
Did you just buy a TV? What are we doing at the
Best Buy? Yeah, that happened in Atlanta.
That happened in Atlanta. Ladies, don't let that discourage y'all, okay? At the first sign of a flag,
leave.
You leave. You hit the door. But when it comes to the Sex with Ashley got the tea every Wednesday. Madame Noir. Where can the people stay connected? Where can they drop those questions? Because I know they have some questions. Don't ask me the questions, y'all. Give them to Sex with Ashley. Let them know where they can find
So you can find me on Instagram at Sex with Ashley. Mm-hmm. Or you can you can email me your questions at ashley@sexwithashley.com.
Listen, this has been a juicy episode, okay? And I know we have spent a whole episode talking about sex and getting the honey, but your girl is still very much here to help you make the money as well. So if you are interested in finding out how you can get Sally Mae off of your back, definitely make sure you join me March 8th for the student loan debt workshop. The link is going to be in the description below. And y'all, I almost forgot our giveaway. So much so that I don't even have a winner yet, y'all. Let me log in real quick. And I am going to, right now live, select a winner for the... Y'all gonna pick one for me? Yeah. Okay, yeah, you gotta pick somebody that's here because I told them they had to be here to to tune in. So we're coming to the chat right now. Child expert in the building. So listen, the child expert is our lucky winner of this hand-painted, one-of-a-kind, hand-painted by a Black woman. This is a Black brand, protect Black people. All you got to do to claim this prize, shoot me a DM on Instagram at Coriel. Send me your mailing address, and I will get this right out to you. It was a way for us to celebrate hitting 2,000 subscribers. So listen, if you have not subscribed yet, girl, stop playing. Peace out, y'all. See you next week. Working for what you want in life and in love. So make sure you hit that subscribe button so that you'll be notified when the next video drops. And comment below and let me know what you want to see on the next video.